postseason.
Yeah, it's a new season, so you hate for the regular season to end. It's been so much fun with this group, and proud of their accomplishments, but it's nothing that we really talk about or celebrate or anything like that. You just, you win, you move on, and you lose, you move on, and we haven't really, as I said, I think when they look back on this regular season, it should be something that they're very proud of, and but right now it's just put your head down and stay focused and go from one game to the next.
Are there teams that you have trouble keeping, throughout the season? Because this team, I mean, Corey just said they didn't even know, who they're playing. They don't, they don't worry about anything. Are there teams that you do have trouble?
I don't know. I just think in this generation, these kids know more than we do. I mean, the information is out there, the Twitter world. I tease Garrett and Sean. I'm usually the last one to find things out, but I kind of like it like that. I just, again, the motto, just don't get caught up with what everybody else is saying and scenarios and projections. And and it's fun that people are in tune to college baseball, but for the player standpoint, man, you just got to focus on the task at hand. And it's such a tough game. Just focus on the game and focus on your opponent. And we've done a pretty good job of, I think, keeping our head down to the grind and playing consistent baseball.
You were one of the last to hear that record for regular season wins. What went through your mind when you heard that stat?
Well, consistency. I mean, I just don't know if I've ever had a club in all my years that consistent as this one, and it starts on the mound. Other than that first Miami weekend, I mean, we went Funkhauser, McKay, and Rogers. I give Funkhauser a lot of credit because there's a great responsibility in being the Friday night starter. McKay just was McKay. I mean, what an unbelievable year. But I think Rogers was the difference maker. I said going into the season that Drew Harrington was kind of our X factor, and he was in the bullpen. I think Josh Rogers was the X factor on that weekend rotation. I don't think many teams ran out a guy of his ability and consistency every Sunday, and that was the difference. I think when you look at conference play and our success, I don't know off the top of my head, I don't even know if we lost a game 3 all year in league. Which is amazing because that's a coin flip day usually. There's a lot of offense on those days. The pitching is depleted, and guys are rotating that Sunday starter. It seems like every year that I've been here, there's been rotations, and most teams have to rotate the Sunday guy, and we had like a Friday guy, throwing on Sunday.
And talk about the bullpen without Drew for the last whatever it's been. I mean, how they've all kind of picked it up too.
I think at the start of the year we were without Birdie and Sparger, and that gave McKay and Harrington and those guys, Hensman, the opportunity to step up. Of course, when Birdie and Sparger came back, we were that much better. But then we lost Harrington. I mean, it's part of a long college baseball season. You're going to lose a couple of guys. Fortunately, ours have been short term, and so hopefully it just makes you better. So we're hoping to add Harrington back into the mix here this week, and what a boost it could be for our pitching staff.
What will you do with the pitching staff this week?
Last year we took Wednesday off. We had the option, and we played Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we're fortunate to play in the championship game Sunday. 4 days in a row. We were just a little gassed by that Sunday game, and you're playing the likes of a Houston. You're playing the winner of the other bracket. We're not looking past our bracket at all, but we just felt like a couple of factors. If we want to win this tournament, we think we need Rogers to throw on Sunday against the likes of a Miami or whoever wins that other bracket. And 2, instead of playing 4 days in a row, we felt like we needed to split up our pitching staff. And so what we did was, instead of starting Leland on Sunday, last year we started Harrington on Sunday, we're going to start him the first game on Wednesday. We're playing a team that's coming off of playing the day before, so our bullpen should be fresh. And then we throw Funkhauser on Thursday. That's a full week's rest for Funkhauser, 7 days in college baseball. McKay and Rogers get the extra day's rest, which is huge, I think, this time of the year because, Rogers threw on Monday at Clemson, then he threw on Sunday against Florida State, then he threw on Saturday, against NC State, and that's 3 weeks in a row. Our starters got pushed up a day. So those are the factors that kind of went into thinking, let's play 2 games and give our bullpen a rest, and then hopefully play 2 games on the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Coach, talk about how this team's been able to handle the pressure. So many come from behind victories for you guys, and how that will help heading into the postseason.
Yeah, you know, I always say I credit their toughness. It's been a tough group. And their determination, their fight. And you got to have talent. You know, you got to have talent to score runs late, because usually, you know, that game's in lockdown mode and they got their best bullpen guys on the mound. And so, you know, I give them a lot of credit. And like I said, it starts at the top with Lucas and Whiting and White. You know, the 3 senior position players have shown a lot of toughness, and hopefully that's carried over to the rest of the club.
In the game jersey, you handed it out to Logan Taylor, I believe, but it was turned right around and given back to you.
Yeah, and you know, a few years ago at UConn, I honestly had no idea those numbers are. I mean, they're nice to talk about, but it's not something you wake up in the morning thinking, hey, let's win number whatever today. It was whatever the number was on the shirt, which I think was 41. That was the one we won, or 42 maybe. And so I gave it to Logan Taylor. He gave it back to me. A few years ago, when the shirt was given back to me by Dace Kime, I got on the bus and in help the helper fashion, as we call it, I gave the shirt to Brian Mundorf, because he had been with me for all 300 wins. So this year I got on the bus and I said, in help the helper fashion, I'm going to give it to a guy who's been here for 400 wins, and I gave it to Roger Williams. You know, so this is kind of our motto, that you win with the help of a lot of people, and our kids, I think our kids respect that, and they see that. I think they really respect what the administration does for them, and the support that they get, and so therefore they don't take it for granted.
We've talked to you before, but what has Roger meant to this program? I mean, you mentioned 400 wins.
Yeah, you know, I tease his wife. He's part of all the losses too, you know, but obviously a huge part of all the wins. I mean, it's in football, it's like the offensive coordinator, defense coordinator. I mean, he is literally a coordinator, and he runs the pitching staff. He's respectful, and he wants my input and my advice. But you know, 99% of the time, it's what does he want to do, and then I go along with it. And the 1% of the time I don't agree with him, I just hope it works out. But he respects that, and I think he's the best in the business. And we pitch, and we get a lot of great recruits to come here that want to pitch for him.
When you recruit a kid, you think you know what they got. How has Brendan been even better early on than you thought he could be? Or
I think we're optimistic with a handful of freshmen every year coming in that they could have this monster year. The key is don't get down on them when they don't. A lot of freshmen have that tough freshman year, and that's okay. So you're not surprised when Brendan does what he's doing, but it is pretty remarkable. Our biggest concern with freshmen is the length of the season. You know, it's about 3 high school seasons sometimes. The length of a freshman college season is comparable maybe to 3 high school seasons. So you just don't want to get too high and don't want to get too low on some guys. But, you know, as he was rolling through the middle, you know, well, there's still a lot of baseball left. Let's see how he holds up. And yeah, he's doing a remarkable job. And I don't, you know, I think the pitching is obviously where he was drafted and where the star power is. But I'm just as impressed with the offense, the consistency offensively, and to be in that 4-hole and protect Corey Ray a little bit. And the one thing they get, if you've noticed, they get everybody's best relievers. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's early in the game. I mean, they'll bring in their best lefty in the 4th or 5th inning because you got to go through Ray and McKay. And you know, there's no protection for them. I can't take them out. It's here. Good luck, you know. They've competed. They've done a really good job against some of the best lefties in the country.
Because of the intensity the last 2 weeks with FSU and NC State fighting for their lives and all that, does it feel like you started postseason 2 weeks early?
No, it's a good point. I addressed that a few weeks ago, realizing the magnitude of the games down the stretch, having a chance to win a regular season ACC championship, playing, you know, a couple SEC teams and the 6 ACC games. You know, the guys, these are postseason games. So you hope it prepares us, and you hope this week prepares us. You know, last year I think Georgia Tech was in the playing game and they won the championship. I think we all know that any one of these 10 teams can walk away with an ACC tournament championship this week, and therefore everyone's NCAA capable. So it's gonna be a great challenge. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
One more for Coach.
Did you guys, when you started this season, obviously you knew you had a lot of talent. You knew that you guys would be competitive, but was there any way to see that you could have broken the conference record for wins and be in this position right now?
You know, as coaches, you don't ever want to sell your kids short. And I think, you know, if you look back on the preseason and the leadoff banquet and everything like that, I mean, we talked about going to Omaha for the third time in a row. I mean, we didn't shy away from that. Now, that had been kind of a 3-year goal. I mean, we talked about going to Omaha 3 years ago, going for 3 straight years. And we just felt like with the leadership, the older guys, the talented young guys, that big sophomore class, those guys played a lot as freshmen. We felt like we had the culture to go back to Omaha and compete to win a national championship. So it's hard to say, you know, anything surprises us or anything like that. You know, as coaches, man, we got ego and we think we can win every game, you know, as the kids do sometimes. But we're realists, and as I said, I'm most impressed with the 10 consistent weeks, not having a letdown, playing as well as we did on the road, handling the few times we got really punched in the mouth, you know, on a Friday night, and we bounced back. I mean, it's credit these kids, man. It's an impressive run.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
We got a bonus hour. I'm going to bring Roger Williams over. If anybody wants to